Hello, all my followers, friends. I'm so glad you tuned back in for this special yoga practice. Today, we're going to have Padmasana, Lotus Pose, and we're going to do variations. So some of them are a little bit more difficult. Just be ready. You should know and be very acquainted with Padmasana pose, Lotus Pose. I have a beginner's videos where you can practice to actually come into a lotus pose, but you should be well established in your practice before you even attempt these more challenging poses. And I do give options what you can do if you cannot come all the way into the poses or if it's too difficult. Make sure you have enough padding for your knees, that you listen to your body, and you really be careful. And I hope you enjoy and be inspired by this many folded variations of lotus pose in your practice. God bless you. So we're going to start today in Malasana. Just opening up your feet wide, placing your hands on the inside. I've been sitting quite a lot, and this is actually my own personal yoga practice as well for today. So I've been working other things, and as much as you do, we both need to come to the mat. You can sway a little bit from side to side, really opening up the hip, really straightening out your back. Try to really tuck your tailbone under, really drawing in your navel. I'm going to open up especially the hips today, warming up the hips before we go into the variations of Padmasana. And now let's round our back forward. So just go through and just round your back, and you can rest your head down and truly let go a little bit more. Still engaging your core, your belly, draw in your belly, rounding your back and surrendering to this moment. Tune into your body, see how you feel, what you have brought to your mat, maybe the work you have done before, the day that went on before. Just let it go. Feel the ground underneath you and just surrender it all to God. Just give everything to God right now, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever has happened today, and straightening up your back again. Breathing and truly feeling present. And then we place our hands down into the floor and feet are facing forward and truly just hang here. Yes and no. Releasing all tensions from the neck, from the hamstrings. Maybe you need to bend your knees quite a bit because you're stiff. That's okay. Again, every forward fold gives us the opportunity to surrender everything to God, our emotions, our feelings, whatever has been going on during the day. Every forward fold is a bowing down to God. Let's inhale and exhale one more time, deeply bending your knees and slowly rolling up, stretching up, and exhale. Come to the front of your mat. Warming up a little bit. Inhale up, exhale. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit in the forward fold at first, and then let's step back with the right foot. Really opening up that hip flexor, maybe swaying back and forth and just opening up, really extending your chest forward. Place both feet down and we're going to come to an 8-point vinyasa. Stay in the plank shortly. So knees, chest, chin down or forehead, whatever feels more comfortable. Stay here. You should be totally engaged with your core and your arm strength. And then coming into a small cobra. Let's let's start a little bit slower today. Just getting rid of your stiffness and just opening up your heart here. And then lean back in child's pose with long arms, really extending, warming up that spine. Breathing, and then look forward, maybe find a little bit more space and come into a downward facing dog. Walk your dog if you'd like that, or I love to bend my knees and just find more length in the back here before I extend my heels down. Truly deeply breathing, looking forward and coming through plank again. And then you draw on your knee, hold it here, activate your core, and step it through. Opening up again. Just maybe a little bit wiggling forward, backward. Maybe you've been sitting a lot, so everything feels kind of stiff. You would just open it up and step forward, forward fold. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. Inhale, up and forward fold. And step back with the left leg, opening up one more time. And we place our left hand down, right hand comes up, right into the twist. Should feel really good for your spine. And then come down one more time, a quad vinyasa, knee, chest, chin. Gliding through cobra, really extending your legs long, knees are lifted, really chest is lifted. Back into child's pose. Stay onto the tip of your hands on the fingertips, and then come into a downward facing dog. Feels already better, the second downward facing dog. Maybe you're a little bit more warm. Come into your tippy toes. Stay here in plank on the tippy toes, and then lift that leg up, engaging that core. Step through. Right hand on the floor. Left hand opens up. Maybe you feel a nice crack, just opening up. Hands down and step forward. Forward fold. Inhale. Rise all the way up. Exhale. Hands down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale. Long spine. And now step back, come through plank and chaturanga, upward facing dog. Stay here, look over one shoulder, opening up that shoulder, and the other one. And then come one more time back into the child's pose. And straight into downward facing dog. Stay here, finding length, maybe really bending your knees really deeply, placing your chest down onto your thighs, and then extending. Breathing, letting everything go. Really surrendering here in the downward facing dog, everything that has been empty, that still doesn't serve you, just let go of it and see maybe where you're holding tensions, where you were tight today, and where you feel open. Now come forward and really placing all the weight onto your hands as if your hands are really carrying you, which they are. Extend your arms straight. And one more time, back into a downward facing dog. Engage your core here. Really find the strength. We're warming up the body and coming back. Now round your back forward into the plank and then extend it back. It's almost like a cow. You're moving through a waving motion. Forward, engage your core, and back. Relax your neck. Forward and back. One breath here, and then you step or you hop forward, however you feel. Extend your spine and lower. Now come into chair pose. Just really warming up the thighs. And you can have your hands either shoulder width apart or together. Maybe your head can go back. Really getting the weight off your toes and into your heels. And stay here. I know your thighs might be burning. That's okay. Come into a twist. Really warming up those legs, the entire body, and really feeling nice in the spine. Come up, rise up your arms, stay. You can do this. Come to the other side. Deeply breathing. One more time, don't give up. When it's hard and it's tough, we need to be tough. And forward fold. I know you're looking forward to this. Inhale, rising all the way up. And exhale down. Open up. I'm going to face you forward, so it doesn't matter if you open up this way or that way. And we're going to come into the goddess pose. Now here again, we're going to open up the legs first. So you might come down, really see that your knees are aligned with your ankles, and you can shift weight from side to side. I really like to warm up my ankles too, so I'd like to lift one leg while the other one stays down, and really truly try to get your chest upward and grow taller. And then the other leg. Really getting that foot and the ankle warmed up. Tuck in your belly. Tuck in under your tailbone. Put it down. Sink a little bit deeper. I know it's starting to burn. That's okay. And now try to raise up one leg. Maybe you can raise up with the other. Hold your core tight. Hands in front of your chest. Try to sink deep while you're rising up with your chest. And then extend your arms up. Breathing deeply. You can do this. Placing your hands down. Stay here. Stay with it. You might be shaking like I am. That's okay. Extend your chest forward. And then place your heels slowly down and come to Skandasana. Opening up, chest to one side. And I really like, you can stay here, I really like to go into the bind to really open up that chest a little bit more in the spine. You can do this. Really breathing deeply, letting go everything that you don't need tension. Make life so difficult sometimes because we're tensing up our face, parts of our body that don't need to be tense. Place our hands down and crawl through the middle to the other side. Stay here. You can always have your hands on the floor as well, or you can attempt to bind if you really like that. I really like it. And opening up that chest. And then come one more time through the middle. You can do this. Come back. It looks almost like a spider. Your feet are facing the same direction as your knees are. So be careful with this. Not too far out. And then we're going to come back. We're going to reverse this. So we're going to have our back straight. And then lift up your legs. Very nice, if you can. And then try to rise up. You can do this. Hands in front of your chest. Come through one more time, raising up your hands. And standing up. Very nice. Very nice. Come to the middle of your mat. So I hope your hips are a little bit warmed up, open, your thighs are burning. And don't want to waste too much time with the warming up. So we're going to take our leg here, and you have the option to start slow. So you can come here and just stay here. We're just going to open up your hip. But if you will feel ready for it, you can truly lift up your leg and just gently, it should never be painful, open up. And then I like to place my foot in the hip crease. Again, if this is too much, stay just above your knee and stay here. Now, if you have your hand on your knee, you just stay down here. Otherwise, I will bind and take my toe. The knee should be pointing downward and it should never hurt. You can stay here. You can always stay also here. And lifting up your arm, maybe this is more than enough. I will forward fold. You can bend your standing knee a little bit to help you with the balance. Find the ground and then try to press the right shoulder down towards the floor. So your right shoulder is not lifted, but actually facing down. And then you can try to relax your head as well. I like when I stand up to bend my little knee a little bit. It helps my knee. Stand up and then slowly, if you can, place your foot down. Let's try the other side. So start by just placing one leg above the knee, not on the knee. And then you can sink down a little bit. You can stay here the entire time and it will burn, but it will help you to open up your hip. Or you can lift up that leg a little bit. Really loosening up, really finding where the tension is and just letting go. And then placing it in your hip crease and slowly, knees pointing downward. You can stay here always, just staying in the balance. Maybe attempt to bind, don't fall. Hand up and forward fold. And I like to bend my knee when I go down and then straightening it up. Relax your head. Your shoulder is facing towards the floor as much as you can. Your knees pointing down. Keep your core engaged, drawing in your belly. Deep breathing. And bending your knees slowly. Rising up. It's okay if you wiggle. And placing your foot down. Very nice. So now we're going to come to the floor. And we're going to come into our first Padmasana. So you can always do half Padmasana first. So placing your foot into the crease. If it's comfortable, come right in. So and we're going to attempt our first pose. And I find this a rather difficult pose. It is also a balancing pose. So you will have to engage your core a lot. And I fall out of this pose all the time. It's very humiliating. It's good for my ego to not be able to always hold this pose. So we'll see how it goes today as much as you might attempt it. If you need extra padding, feel free to lay down an extra blanket for your knees. You can stop this video and just get an extra blanket because we're going to come onto our knees here. So we're going to come shift forward onto our knees, and this might be already hard. You tuck your tailbone under and also your belly. This should never hurt. If it hurts, just stay in Padmasana down. You take one arm in front of your chest and you place just the fingertip in on the floor. So your just holding with that fingertip the weight just a little bit, and then just focus on one point and try to lift that hand. And as you can see, I usually can take a nice Instagram picture, but I can't hold it for long. And here we go. And you can try this one more time. One more time, maybe the other side. And maybe you can hold it perfectly. That's awesome. Truly, truly awesome. But if it doesn't happen, it's about enjoying that journey where we don't have that destination where we have to be perfect in every pose. In fact, we wouldn't have anything to work on. And we wouldn't have to work on loving ourselves and accepting where we are. So, just enough for that picture. So, extend your legs, maybe rubbing your knees a little bit. Yes, this is a little bit tougher in the knees. So, just wiggle out your legs. Extend one leg towards the body and release. And you can just easy release, keeping your knees not going to the side, but keeping it close to your body and just rolling forward. And this is fine. Or you can also always attempt the bind and just release. I find this actually in that last pose was one of the hardest one. Some people call it mountain pose. It's just on the knees. It's the hardest pose, and then it's the balancing. So I find it really difficult. Come up and let go, and let's come to the other side. And you either come forward, just fold forward like this. You can look down. Your knee should stay right where your shoulder is, or you can attempt the bind and just forward fold. Release and relax. Learn from each pose, really. Take what you learn here into your life. We need to be loving and accepting and be okay with it. Be okay with the journey. Our life is a journey, and we need to grow in the virtues. And really, our race in life is over when we die. So we shall enjoy the journey. Slowly come up. One more time, wiggle it out. And so we should enjoy our yoga practice because it's a journey. It's not a destination. So come one more time into Padmasana. And this time, we're going to come only to one side. So I find this a little bit easier. You can come to the side and you just come up on your forearm, which is nice if you need extra padding, again, for your knee. Take care of your knee. You can stay here. You can also come up all the way onto your hand, which I'm not going to do today because too much stress in the knee. But I really feel comfortable here. Draw in your belly. And just stay here. Enjoy. Before you fall maybe out of the pose like I am in. Just stay humble. It's good what I did right now. And come to the other side. And lift. Maybe more gracefully than I am. And try not to fall back. So truly engage your core and open up. You can also come onto your hand if you really are up for it. I'm going to just stay here and enjoy. Smile. Release all tensions from the neck, from the shoulder. Again, this should not hurt. One more deep breath. And release. So one more time. just rubbing your knees, rubbing your thighs, and come into a forward fold. Just releasing, relaxing, letting everything set back into the order. And right up. And these poses are difficult, so it's not really easy. So this time I'm going to face forward. And if you'd like, you can take your favorite side, which I always put the right on top of the first, and then the left on top. This time I'm actually going to switch sides. So no, we're not going to come into the holding position again, but we're going to move forward. Actually, pushing myself a little bit back. And now be very careful here. Be very careful. First of all, you can come onto your forehands and you can slowly let your chest be opened up. Try to lift your chest up. Now, if you don't like this, just come into Sphinx pose, which is the extended legs here in the Sphinx pose. If this is plenty, you stay here. You can even, which is easier, come all the way down. But this is kind of a little bit of a back bend. Try to really extend your chest forward. And you can also always come onto your fingertips. And as close as the fingertips are, the more difficult it is. For me, this is more than enough. And you truly need to listen to your body. Listen to yourself. Listen where you are, where you should be, and not to push yourself. We get the grace to be us from God and not to go further. So, let's come out of this very slowly, rounding your back. This is a very deep, intense pose. And straightening out your legs. One more time, rubbing your knees. These are difficult poses, and we're going to come into a little bit easier one. So during the practice, you can switch the sides when you do Padmasana. So now we're going to try a fun thing. We're going to try to just sit and come into Padmasana without using the hands. So I know this is difficult, so let's try this. So I take my right leg first and place it in. And I didn't make it all the way, so I'm going to try one more time. Be careful not to push yourself. So I can place it a little bit higher. And then I'm going to try and wiggle my leg all the way up. Maybe you were successful. Maybe you weren't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a better yogi or a better person. What makes you a better person is to love yourself and to accept where you are right now and be okay with the room that you have to practice more and to learn more. So maybe you ended up like this. Maybe you didn't. One more time, stretching out your legs. And we're going to try the other side. So for me, this is more difficult because this is not my favorite side. So I'm taking the left leg first. And one more time, getting it as high up as I can. I can help myself a little bit. And now the other leg. And then I wiggle that leg up all the way. And sit in Padmasana. We need this for the next pose because we're going to go into a headstand. And we need to be able to come in and out of the pose. Now, if headstand is in your practice, you can do regular headstand. You can do headstand with one leg, so one-legged Padmasana, or two-legged. And I will use a wall because if I fall over in Padmasana, it's gonna hurt. So I want to make sure that I have truly the comfort of a wall. And then I also need a little bit padding for the headstand. For me, it's not enough just the mat. So I have a little carpet where I do a headstand. And I can fall out of it as much as you do. I haven't done this pose in forever. So let's try it together. So let's see where we are right now. And maybe today it's working, tomorrow it's not, or the other way around. Be okay with it. We're both on the journey together. So first of all, let's go into our handstand. Placing your head down. If headstand is way above what you can do right now, is you just come up here and practice. Just practice. Just practice. Keeping the weight really onto the forearms. If you're up for it, you're going to come into a headstand. And you can always, always, always stay here. Or you can try and go into half Padmasana. And I have the wall behind me, which is kind of comforting. And then maybe coming into full Padmasana. And this is not easy. Try it with a wall. You can always lean against a wall. Breathe. And then try as much as you can to slowly, I have the wall here, slowly come out. And with as much control as you can, come out. Now you can stop the video, maybe you just watched, maybe try this again. This is not so much for the knees, but it's still a hard pose. I didn't know if it's gonna work today or not. It's okay, it's a journey, and you have to be brave sometimes. Try something new, and you don't have the safety of a wall to just be okay with it. If it happened today, if it didn't happen, you're on a journey and you can practice. So I will get the carpet away, and I'm glad we got this pose out of the way. It is truly a tough one. So let's come through a downward facing dog. Truly get some length in your spine, and we're gonna come through one vinyasa, really truly coming to plank, down and upward facing, taking your time a little bit, and one more time, a downward facing dog, which feels amazing. And then if you're up for it, just jump through, come down, and come laying down. Now, you can always do just the regular shoulder stand without Padmasana in it. And I don't recommend you, of course, to look to the side. So Padmasana in shoulder stand. So first, we're going to come into the shoulder stand. And again, stay here. Become comfortable. Don't look to the side. Breathing deeply. Just really enjoying that pose here. I can stay for a long time if it just feels so good. When you feel ready for it, you can try. And this is easier than with the headstand. You can try one-sided Padmasana and open up your hip. Maybe this is fine, and you can do this, with the other side after a little while, or you can try to come into Padmasana. You can always stay here and hold your back. And please don't look to the side. So if you need to watch this video, stop and then try it yourself, do that. Or you can have your hands placed on your knees. This pose works for me only for a short period of time because of my neck. I have a little bit of neck issue. It's nice, but you have to be careful. Now I like to place my hands around my knees in Padmasana and really round my back. So in this way, we're just really stretching the spine, really finding the length of the spine. Breathing deeply, just enjoying this pose. Whenever it becomes too much, just come out of it. Maybe come in and again, or just do something that feels more amazing to you than what I'm doing right now. I like to release my hands, place them back in the back, open up my lotus pose, stretching out my legs again, and this feels amazing. I like to point my toes and stretch my toes towards me just to release tension, and then let's go into plow pose. And just releasing, letting go. You can always have your toes tucked under as well. That feels better for you, or straightening out your toes, whatever feels better right now. Just breathing deeply. Actually cramping up my toes, so I'm just gonna put my toes down. And then we're gonna come up again. Maybe you can come through a shoulder stand again, which is amazing. Now you have the option. We can come into a lotus fish or straight legs. If you don't feel like up for another Padmasana lotus fish pose, then you just slowly come down and come into the fish, or you can bind one more time again, and then slowly come down. I like to sit up before I come into the fish, actually, because sometimes my neck is not in a good place, and I need to make sure that my back is really in a good place before I go into the pose. So you can stay here and just lean back, or come into the fish pose. You're just putting down your head, the top of your head, and then grabbing onto your feet. And really engaging your core here. Don't let your core just wiggle down. I'm really pressing my elbows into the floor. Now there's people that like to straighten out the arms here in this pose, but it's not good for my neck. I always have a little bit of weakness in my neck, so I'm always supporting myself here with the elbows. And then I'd like to come out, and I actually like to open up the other side. So again, favorite foot went first. Now I'm taking the other foot and then come into lotus fish again. You can, if you don't like that, you can come into another fish pose just with the straight legs. Or just in Asanas, drawing in the knees into your chest, if you feel like you had enough now. And then slowly come down with your head, undo the lotus, and draw in your knees. Give yourself just a little bit of a back massage. I actually like to do a reverse Padmasana. So I'm going to straighten out my legs and just hold wherever feels good to you. So just imagine you do Padmasana. So your tailbone should be drawing towards the floor, and you're just holding your legs here. Try to relax your shoulders and your face, long spine. And it doesn't matter how far you're going down. Actually, I like to draw in my toes and point them. And draw one more time in. It really releases tensions in my legs. And then slowly, you can maybe hold on to your toes. Maybe you can have your toes back here. And then maybe roll up. Maybe you can keep your balance better than I, and you can actually come up, straightening up your legs. That's fine. Just find length in the spine. Draw in your belly. Find length. And then you can release your legs. We're going to do another Padmasana pose. And if you have enough of it, you can always, sit out one and just do child's pose. So we have our legs bound again. And I'm going to face a little bit forward so you can see. And in this one, we're going to have one arm through one hole, and it seems almost impossible that you can actually get your hands through these holes, but you can actually get them through. Some people wetten their hands or their arms that they can go better through. Now, some have that flexibility where they can place their hands on their ears. That's wonderful. Or on the chin. I have to be so humble to say I can't do that. So I place my fingertips onto my head, try to keep my back straight, and hold this pose. You can always lean against a wall. Try to straighten out your spine as much as you can. And then we're going to come into Kukutasana, which is placing the hands down, and then take a little swing, maybe another one, maybe one more, and you can hold the pose here. Maybe you can, maybe you need a few tries. Just try your best. Really engage your core here. Engage your pelvic floor. Draw everything in and up. That's really going to help you. Keep a good attitude. I know it's difficult. Smile. Smile during the difficult times. You have to go through it anyway. Might as well. Smile. And then slowly, if you can, place yourself down. Very nice. We're going to come to actually a closing. So we either interlace our elbows, grab our elbows behind our back. So just one elbow in the other. Or you can cross your legs. One arm comes into one foot and actually have to go the other way. So one arm to the one foot and the other arm to the other foot. Straightening out, crisscross your arms behind your back. And then if you like, fourfold. Release your back, draw in your belly. Relax. These poses were super, super difficult. Be okay where you have been and where you are. Really releasing every forward fold is a surrendering to God. No matter where you are, just give everything to God. I'm sure through some of the poses you forgot the words, and that's good that way. Surrender it all if your mind is running back to them. And then slowly lift up again. I actually like to stretch out my arms. If it's too much, have one foot in front of the other now. You don't have to be in Padmasana, but here I like to fold down, keep my hands up beside my ears, and the forehead is going down before my arms reach the floor. Still keep them straight. And then once you have them, you can straighten out your arms and relax. Finding length, growing, expanding. And we're going to come the same way out as we came in. So that means your arms lift up first. And really with a core strength, come up, lift up one more time. And then place your hands on your knees. And if the Padmasana is too much now, have one foot in front of the other. Breathing deeply, a little breathing exercise. So we're going to restrict our throat and come in Ujjayi. Deep breath. You can look here onto the tip of your nose or close your eyes and truly relax your nervous system. Now, if you haven't been, come one more time, last time in Padmasana, if you can. And then we're gonna move forward onto our hands and lift ourselves up here and hold the pose. You can cheat by hooking your feet really tight into your elbows, your forearms, and really lift. Your pelvis is drawing up, your belly is really drawn in. Hold it just a little bit longer. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. 2 more breaths. And then gently release one more time, having your feet forward, and come one more time into that forward fold. Really releasing, relaxing, letting everything go, surrendering it all. And then slowly rise up. I will come into, you can either come into tabletop one more time, really to open up your chest or extend your legs all the way and come up either way. Just find length. Slowly set yourself down, activate your core, and using your core, really tucking in, slowly settling yourself down and come into a laying twist. Whatever form is best for you. Some people like to step one leg over the other and have them parallel, or like I do, extend one leg and have the other cross. Really enjoy letting all tensions that may have built up drop to the floor. You need to enjoy the times where you work and then enjoy the times where you can rest. We often have either we're of the one type where we work and hardly enjoy to rest, or the other way around. And in our practice, we can learn to accept and to enjoy both, either way. Slowly come up, maybe shift your weight a little bit to the other side, the hip a little bit over, and come into the twist on the other side, releasing all tensions, surrendering it to the floor, letting go, no matter how your practice looked like. Don't draw your value from if you were in each pose or you weren't, if you were perfectly in the pose or you weren't. It's really not about that. It's your journey, and we need to grow from that. Take our value from God and enjoy the journey wherever we are. We're going to have better times where everything seems so easy, and we have harder times where nothing really works. We need to enjoy when we're challenged and learn to, like playing a game, to lose well, but also to be a good winner. And to have one child that knows how to lose really well, but you don't want him to win because he's a sore winner. So either way, you need to learn both. And rise up, and we're going to come into short shavasana. Extending your legs out, wiggling them out one more time. And then just take a little rest here. We're just going to take a few minutes. If you'd like to go longer, put on the music that you like and stay for an accounted time. Just drop everything. Slowly, if you feel ready for it, deepen your breath. And extend your arms up. And like you've been sleeping for a long time, stretch yourself out and up. I like to actually circle my wrists, my ankles in each direction and draw them close and away from me. Just to release all tension. Draw in my knees. I like to wiggle from side to side one more time. And then come to your side. Lift yourself up. And I actually like to release one more time. I like to circle my upper body, just back and front, small isolations, and then let them be bigger to release all tensions from the back and from the hip, whatever is left, so you can truly feel comfortable for the rest of your day. And then I like to put my other foot in front and start the small circles and getting bigger, just releasing all left tensions. And then you can place your arm to the side, waking up your body so you can go on with your day, whatever you still have left. To the other side, really opening up your chest. At the end of my practice, I like to check how my neck is doing, because I always have a little bit neck issues. Head drops to the front and see if everything's tension free. To the other side. Down. And then let's take one more deep breath together. May God bless you and keep you safe, keep you blessed and full of grace and mercy for the rest of your day. Thank you for practicing with me.